Hello, beautiful. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today, we will look into something special, and it's about the person who rather operates from their mind perspective versus the person who operates from their heart. Okay, now I want to look into different viewpoints and why each of them has its value. So now this is not an against, and this is not a better as. This is a simply way to understand if you are standing in front of a person who is rather operating from the mind or from the heart. What is it that drives them, right? And I find that super helpful. So give me a few minutes to explain and express what I mean, and then let me know in the comments how you have actually felt that, and if that is something that you want to hear more about. Now, if you're new on this channel, my name is Patricia. I'm a certified life coach, and I help you here on this platform to really navigate to yourself, to learn more about yourself, gain a new understanding, because ultimately that is what makes you happy. And my purpose on this platform is to provide you with more depths, more meaning, more happiness, okay? So you can actually shine and do what you love, because that's what we're here for. So let's dive right into the topic for today. Grab your coffee, your tea, and a notebook, and that's always really good, because sometimes you hear something and you're like, oh, this is really good, and it gets forgotten because you're busy in your life, and I think that writing things down makes it more real for you. It makes it more visual as well for you, so you see it within your own words on how you have understood something. So use your notebook to really gain a new understanding in basically whatever you are doing, right? Get that ready. Okay, so looking into the mind person, right? So I told you we will go and look into two different perspectives. One is from the mind, okay, the person who rather operates from their mind, and the person who operates from their heart. And I believe there is, as an overall idea first, there is really this understanding, especially in spirituality, that we can only operate from the heart, and everything that is outside of that understanding is wrong. Okay, so don't use your mind. Your mind is bad, very bad. And so don't use that. And every person who is doing that is bad and blah blah blah. And it's very shameful, very judgmental as well. And I believe that there needs to be a slight cleanup, okay? A new understanding on how these people operate, and actually why we need them, why they're useful, and why only looking from the heart perspective may not be the greatest deal. Okay, so hold on and bear with me. If you're looking at the person who is rather using the mind, meaning being more analytical, okay, gathering information and looking at small pieces, looking at the small ideas they have, and then putting it together into a project, something like this. So what someone does from the mind perspective is rather small, okay? You see a task, you do the task. You are kind of splitting it in parts, and you're doing them, okay? Now, what happens when we are looking at the heart, so someone from the heart perspective who's operating on the heart, very much different, because when we are looking from a heart perspective, we open up here, okay? And we feel united, okay, connected to everything that is. So we see the bigger picture, or they see the bigger picture. The bigger picture doesn't say how to get there, okay? It just gives the huge possibility. It gives you the possibility to really, not sure if dreaming big is the right word, but really taking into consideration that you're going out and it expands and you see way more. Okay, it's very, very much different. Now you can lose yourself really much in that perspective, because going from that point on, you kind of think that we are all together, we are all the same, we are all love, for example, right? Our being all is love. And I wouldn't say that's wrong. I would just say that there are some people who can and cannot connect to this source, to this energy, to this field. So if you are connecting with people, and this is my main point, if you are connecting with people and you are trying to communicate and you're the hard person, right? And then you come to someone who is maybe very mind driven and very analytical, may not like that if you're going in their space and maybe hugging them, and we are all love and everything is awesome and everything is great, and that analytical person is like, who are you? First you show me your personality, then I want to see this and this, and what are you doing, and here, like, I need my time to see and check in, right? And so you see, there are different levels of connection that you can have with people, and I find it's extremely powerful when you start to understand, okay, in order to create for us all, like together, all, we need to work together, right? And so the person who is rather in their mind has its great values, because without that person, you wouldn't even get to the big picture. You know what I mean? You wouldn't get there. It's hard to do. So I want you to look in this month into smaller things. Usually I tell you to go into the heart space, right? And this month, actually, or in general, when you're watching this video, I want you to rather check in within your small areas, like those small pieces. Small pieces like, what do you believe in? What are your beliefs? Because you operate from your beliefs, right? So even if you're mainly driving from the heart, you will not be able to get what the heart sees, and being able to actually execute all of that, because your belief system, for example, holds you back, or the way how you take action holds you back from your big picture. So it's great that you can see from the heart perspective on what is possible, but how about checking in for the smaller stuff? Don't make it so super big, make it small. Make it small and check out what is in the smaller things, on what can I do here to just level a little bit up, to just get a little bit better, okay? For example, if you're looking into, you can really go super, super simple here. If you're checking in, what are your beliefs? And, a belief is really just a thought that we keep repeating. And oftentimes a thought, for example, is actually also inherited from our family or people we grew up with, or from our society. And because we are practicing that kind of belief and we are seeing that, it may have its value back then, but we still have it here with us, and it's not in our service anymore. But because there is not an automatic software update, we actually have to do those check-ins. You see, you have to go a little bit smaller. So for all of you who are overwhelmed with, like, you know, those big dreams and blah blah and make everything super huge, this is the perfect opportunity for you to really, really dig small and to really look into those small pieces, you know. Another one would be something really simple, like cleaning up your kitchen space or your closet or whatsoever, and really start to see, okay, is this still in use for me? Now, this actually will help you to release, give space, okay? And at one point, to get to this bigger picture, to get to the heart space where you are happy, okay? But don't forget that your mind is actually doing you sometimes quite a good service, you know, by being very analytical and by seeing, okay, I'm so stuffed up, like I cannot even go here and here and here. And if you're then looking at it in smaller pieces, you're like, okay, but you know, if I'm writing everything down that actually is in my way right now, or that is something that is holding me back, I can actually make a progress. And maybe it's 5%, maybe it's 10%, but because I'm only doing those 5 or 10%, I'm actually getting so much motivation or so much inspiration to move forward. And because of that, I'm actually getting into the road, you know. And I think we are trying sometimes way too big. You're still human. You are still human, and because you are still human, it's not to exclude parts that are actually good. That, you know, there is no such thing as good or bad. It's the way how you use it that might be a little bit adjustable, you know. But it's not about, hey, let's judge who we are because we have a mind. You see, the path of the spiritual is actually not to drift off in other dimensions. I don't know what is that all about, you know. The way of spirituality, at least how I understand it, is to get back into who I am, but also from a human perspective, and to understand who I am, and not to go all around and you know, just not here and not here, and you know, it's not about drifting off all the time. It's about getting real and doing those little things, even though we may think, yeah, but they're super boring. But the thing is, you cannot sweat the big stuff if you haven't even looked at the small one, you know? So go and do the small things, because that is going to help you increase and getting also, one more time, your confidence, okay? Because you're doing little things and you see, oh, it worked. Okay, check. Great. You know, be proud of yourself, you did that. And that's how, like, huge projects can be just really split down and putting it into little boxes, you know, every single day, a few minutes, and 20 minutes, half an hour, whatsoever. And that actually gives you over time a huge benefit, All right, I hope it helped you, and leave me a comment and let me know, are you rather functioning from the heart perspective, or do you rather operate from the mind? And can you see that both of it has its value, and that you can actually activate both of them, you know? And that you can use both of them. It's not to judge one thing or the other, and it's not something is better than the other. It's about seeing different viewpoints, and both of them are perfectly fine. Okay? So with this, thanks so much for watching, and yeah, consider to subscribe, don't forget, and I see you next time. Bye bye.